Welcome back. Now, let's take a look at our last decimal place that we're responsible for in 5th grade. All right, so you are responsible for tenths, you are definitely responsible for hundredths, and now you are also responsible for, in 5th grade, thousandths. All right, and you spell that just like thousand, and then remember the snake sound. Thousandths, okay? So remember, a thousandth is like if we split up one of these into 10 pieces, all right? So we're talking about like a tiny little square. You'll rarely ever see it like that, all right? We've looked through some exercises like that on our Blend site, but it doesn't happen that often, all right? And really, this is like 1/10 of a penny. So it's a fraction of a penny. It is a piece of a penny. It's not even a whole penny. It's 1/10 of a penny. All right? So 1/10 of a penny. So in decimal form, a thousandth looks like this: a 0 in the tenths, a 0 in the hundredths, and a 1 in the thousandths place. As a fraction, 1/1000th looks like 1 as your numerator, and 1000 as your denominator. 1/1000th. So this is the decimal 1/1000th. This is the fraction 1/1000th. 1/1000th, 1/1000th. Same like before, we have 1/100th, we have 1/100th. And like before, we had 1/10th, and we have 1/10th. All right? So if you're drawing this on a place value chart, the same thing applies. All right? So ones is on the left side of the decimal point. To the right of the decimal point, you'll have your tenths place. To the right of your tenths place, you'll have your hundredths place. And then to the right of your hundredths place, that's where you'll have your thousandths place. So all of these numbers all these words are just the smaller version of tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So as you can see, tenths, 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 tenths. The tenths shows up on all of them. Hundredths, 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 hundredths. That's where your hundredths are. And then thousandths is right there. Okay, so if you're having trouble reading these words, they're really big on this side. So if you're having trouble reading them in the video, I understand. Just copy them down. They're these words, all right? So ones, ones, ones. Tenths, tenths, tenths. Hundredths, hundredths, and thousandths. All right, so if I got a number and someone gave me a number, I'm gonna try and make this work for y'all. All right, so what we're gonna do is let's pretend that we have a number. I'm trying to make the smallest piece of paper right now. I can't. Okay, so we're gonna put a number in each place value, and then we're gonna read the number. Okay, so let's say that we have a 2 in the ones place, we have a 3 in the tens place, we have a 1 in the hundreds place, and we have a 5 in the thousands place. All right, remember your decimal point is right here, and we say and for the decimal point. So if we were going to read this number right here, how would we read this number? I want you to try it. So remember, you read the whole number and with the decimal point, the entire decimal number, and then the smallest decimal place value. All right, so if we were going to read this number, it would be 2 and 315 thousandths. Okay, let's say that I don't have that many place values. Let's say that I'm just looking at this number. All right, so how would we read that number? We read the whole number, 2, then the decimal point, and the whole decimal, 31, and then the smallest place value, hundredths. So 2 and 31 hundredths. And then finally, just like we started off, if we want to read a number that only has one decimal place value, we just read the whole number, 2, the decimal point as and then the smallest place value, there's only one, 2 and 3 tenths.